The NFL has accumulated a long list of some of the most devastating tackles in the history of contact sports, a lot of which have left players with lifelong injuries, just like when a lifeless Deshaun Jackson was seen twitching on the field. I'm sure everyone out there was holding their breath. It was flat out scary, but just because it was painful to watch doesn't mean it was a dirty play. Duante Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons suffered a concussion as a result of his hit on the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver Deshaun Jackson. It knocked out both players. Robinson faced possible punishment from the league since the hit ended up with Jackson suffering a major concussion. He had dropped his head going into it, did not hurl himself at the defender, and caught Jackson in the shoulder pad rather than the helmet. Nonetheless, Robinson was fined for striking a defenseless receiver. Both players remained on the field for several minutes before being helped off. This prompted NFL's Ray Anderson to inform the Associated Press that the league could begin banning players for risky helmet hits. I'm sure no player intends on taking out another like that. They're just playing football, which is a brutal sport in any case. To Robinson, Jackson was a receiver with the ball. He did everything correctly in his attempt to tackle him or pop the ball loose, and that the play resulted in both of their injuries, which is unfortunate to say the least.
Find a way in this game to help eliminate that play right there, and I don't know how you do it. They've done it through. They've done it through rule. You've got to talk to the players about the importance and the respect. Talk to the players about the importance and the respect.
Duante has been named a repeat offender of these helmet-to-helmet hits because a similar situation went down when Duante Robinson collided with Jeremy Maclin and branded him with a helmet-to-helmet collision during a game also against the Philadelphia Eagles, leaving both players unconscious. And according to many, this was undeniably a foul hit. Robinson was fined $40,000 but not suspended for the hit on Jackson. As more evidence becomes available concerning the brain damage that NFL players endure during their careers, the league must continue to discourage this type of play. And many believe that Roger Goodell should have punished Duante Robinson by suspending him for numerous games. However, I believe the league must also develop a method to distinguish between a massive collision and a catastrophic helmet-to-helmet collision. But apart from borderline illegal tackles, there are some that just simply remain memorable.
And I don't know how you do it. They've done it through rule. You've got to talk to the players.
I don't think either one of these players want to hurt each other. I don't think any of that was going on. They're just going to show difference.
About the importance and the respect between each other.
Like when Sheldon Brown laid out Reggie Bush. The Philadelphia Eagles and the New Orleans Saints faced up against one another in 2007. We all know the Eagles lost that one, but there is one specific play that everyone still speaks about to this day. It was when Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Sheldon Brown completely destroyed New Orleans Saints running back Reggie Bush. Bush was a young running back at the time who had all eyes on him since his days at USC. He was expected to contribute considerably to the Saints during his first season. While he did help his team win the game against Philadelphia that year, Sheldon left the young running back with some painful memories. Brown claimed that he felt nothing because Bush was practically defenseless. He said it seemed like he was running through a cardboard box. And I'm sure we can all agree, it looked like Brown plowed through a rag doll. It was, however, 100% legal. Neither of them was majorly hurt as a result of the collision. But there have also been times when players have gotten a little too aggressive, leaving an impact you can't come back from.
As the tailback, Reeves swings it out to Bush. The ball is knocked away and an incomplete pass.
He was looking back at the ball. That was a blind hit right there.
A great.
And now goes down again.
He did not see that hit coming.
Now Reggie Bush lines up as the tailback.
Like what Jack Tatum did to Darryl Stingley. He was well known for his aggressive approach to the game. You don't end up with the title, The Assassin, for nothing. But as a result of Tatum's aggressiveness, Darryl Stingley's life changed forever on August 12, 1978, during a preseason game between the New England Patriots and the Oakland Raiders. The New England Patriots wide receiver left his feet and extended his arms for the ball. As Raiders safety, Jack Tatum delivered what many believe was a deliberate brutal hit that left Stingley quadriplegic. Stingley's spinal cord was compressed and his fourth and fifth cervical vertebrae were fractured. He had to be carried off the field at Oakland Coliseum on a stretcher. Surprisingly, Tatum was not penalized for the play. Tatum, according to Stingley, never reached out to check on him after the incident, despite the fact that he was constantly reliving that moment day in and day out. In fact, he stood by the fact that he did nothing wrong, that he led with his shoulder, and that it was a clean, strong strike. Even if it had been clean, an apology would have been nice. Apart from two players both ending up with concussions, there are also two players who both got knocked unconscious after colliding.
If you want to argue that Jack Tatum's intent
was to hurt you? Yeah, it was. If you want to say his intent was to knock you out of the game, yeah.
Against the Patriots.
They're going to put it in the air. Oh! Yeah.
I was described as, vicious, brutal, and it meant that you make a catch, you're going to pay for it.
And that was when Eric Smith destroyed Anquan Boldin. The Jet safety hit Boldin so hard, he knocked himself out. Smith was not even the first defender to the ball in a game against the Arizona Cardinals. He might not have flung himself at Boldin if he had realized that teammate Kerry Rhodes, who had jumped shoulder first into Boldin from the other side, was putting the Cardinals receiver into a position that would make the outcome nasty, not just for Boldin, but also for Smith. With about a half minute left in a wonderfully spectacular 6-touchdown game by Jets QB Brett Favre, the Cardinals were down by 21 points, so it was essentially a meaningless score. But quarterback Kurt Warner threw to Boldin in the end zone because he had to, and it was the right action until it turned into a lot of effort for a major loss. Eric Smith claimed he was knocked unconscious and had no recollection of his terrifying helmet-to-helmet impact on Boldin, but he will never forget the NFL penalty he got as a result for a, quote, flagrant breach of player safety guidelines. The Jets starting safety was suspended for 1 game and fined $50,000. The suspension came 12 days after Commissioner Roger Goodell warned players in a league-wide statement that he was tightening down on illegal and dangerous hits. And this was nothing short of a dangerous hit.
Breaks it up, and Boldin shaken up on the play.
Ooh, that's helmet-to-helmet by Eric Smith. That should have been flagged right there.
Yeah,
that Kurt's so good about throwing the ball where he doesn't take these kind of shots, but this is hard to avoid here.
But nothing beats the danger that ensued when Lawrence Taylor smashed into Joe Theismann. The latter played for 12 NFL seasons, all with the Redskins, totaling 25,206 passing yards, 160 touchdowns, and a Super Bowl victory. But he's best known as the guy on the wrong end of a Lawrence Taylor sack. Early on in the second quarter, Theismann had passed off to John Riggins. The Diesel charged into the center of the line, his head lowered for the impact. Then he charged a strategy, coming to a halt and flicking the ball back to Theismann. They were playing a flea flicker. Theismann hoped to hit Art Monk downfield. That's when Taylor grabbed Theismann and pulled him down. As they fell to the ground, Taylor's knee collided with his lower right leg. Everyone on the field knew Theismann was in trouble when he was sprawled out on the field. During his final NFL game, Theismann suffered a compound fracture in his right leg. He was 36 years old when he got injured in November of 1985. That season, he appeared in 11 games and passed for 1,774 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. He'd also been sacked 37 times, including the final tragic takedown that ended his football career. But in the end, the Redskins won that game 23-21. Jay Schroeder started the final 5 games, going 4-1, and the squad concluded the season 10-6. So, if there was any doubt as to which hit would go down as the most devastating in NFL history, or maybe even sports in general, now you know. And these are the most devastating tackles in NFL history. See you in the next video.